And we're live. We're live. Well, not live, but we're recording. That's what we're doing now. I'm Tristan.
My name is Dylan.
What we're going to do is we're going to roll dice and determine a page randomly for the monster manual, and then we're going to talk about whatever we find. And then after that, we're just going to talk about monsters we brought, and today it's sand themed.
I was going with a desert, but yeah, sand.
Sand.
We did sand last time.
Well, we did constructs and or stone last time, and then we forgot to do one. And you were like, hey,
come up with a theme.
Let's make more sand things for my campaign. So
Sand.
We're just gonna do that.
Yep. That's the only purpose of this whole thing, right? Just steal your ideas for D&D campaigns.
Maybe. I don't have any other campaigns, so if I try and steal what I use in the one that you're in,
total
then
spoiler.
you'll know.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, that's a nice smoke vial monster you're throwing at me.
I know exactly how to deal with this.
Do you want to roll the dice?
I will roll the dice. Let's see where we're at. It's looking like page 50.
Ooh,
demons.
That's not a dragon. Demons.
That's all demons. That's a lot. It's 16 pages of demons.
Now here's the thing. When it comes to... Oh, it is just demons. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I don't think we should just talk about demons.
How many demons are there? And we can get down to a specific one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14! So roll a 1d20 and just re-roll 15s and above.
Alright. We got a 2.
Got a 2! That's the Barlgura.
Ooh, that sounds pretty fun.
These guys are weird.
That's on page 50?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but when you were trying to free the Duchess of Daggerford, I used a couple of these large ape-like demons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we snuck past them, I think.
Yes. So for the listener, in the book, if you don't have it, this is a large Donkey Kong-like gorilla demon. He's got some piercings on his lip, because demons are into that. He's got some fancy bracers. But that's about it. He's sort of red and blue.
And so, like, the big thing with the demons is that, you know, they're coming from other places. They got cults sometimes. They're usually... People are summoning them for bad stuff.
Yes.
So the Barlgura specifically, it represents the savagery and brutality of the abyss. They gather in packs to take down tougher foes, and they keep trophies from their victories.
Oh.
So they like have this terrifying hunting lodge of like people's removed spinal columns.
Well, it says they decorate their territory, so they might just take your spinal column and hang it from a tree and call it a day.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of wherever they are, because are they very intelligent? Let's see.
They're surprisingly intelligent. I mean, like, 7's not great, but they're smart enough.
It does look like a Super Smash Bros. Like recolor.
Yeah.
Bright red and blue.
The one thing that surprised me was their wisdom was higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, that's probably more for, like, tracking stuff. And they have blind sight, dark vision, and a good passive perception. They have telepathy, too. So I think, you know, it's kind of the hunting setup, so they're going to be able to track you down. If they want to find you, they'll probably find you.
They would also make really good guards.
They did. We didn't even try to fight them. Because they were so scary.
Yeah, and I think the weirdest thing that these things have is disguise self and invisibility.
That's the thing, though, is I think it's a hunting thing. Because they have, like, entangle and stuff, too. So it's sort of like they're following you around, stalking you, and then they're like, boom, entangle, come out of a bush invisible, and just bop you on the head. And then, you know, they got to tear out your spinal column and put it in a tree. Call it a day.
Surprise. I wasn't a deer. I was a giant demon.
He fooled you. But yeah, no, I think that's interesting that you use these as guards, because they're very imposing, right? They're so big. They're like 8 feet tall, 650 pounds, large fiend. But at the time, when did we encounter these? Because we were not super high level at that point.
No, but that might have been by the time that I gave Justin his super OP axe.
Oh,
so
yeah.
All the rules. In the campaign we were playing in, I sort of ran out of items that I wanted to sell them, so I started grabbing things from online, and I sold our barbarian a weapon that deals like 3d6 plus 1d8 plus 2.
Pretty early in the game.
Yeah, and it was a
It
problem.
it feels more balanced now because we're a party of 3 against like really serious threats. Could like level 15 or 16, right?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is that I could literally give him probably the strongest legendary weapon in this book, and he would keep the the freaking axe.
No, there's nothing that's going to replace that. But I mean, at the time, I think that you presented these in the right way, where we were like, we don't really want to mess with them.
No. Now, the interesting thing, too, about these is you said that they would make a good imposing guard. I feel like they'd be better used just as I put a couple of invisible monkeys next to my gates, and anyone who tries to get through, we don't try and scare them off. We just bludgeon them to death.
They're just like, you're like picking the lock and you just get completely crushed by a giant ape.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. I see. Yeah, I think that would be pretty funny. But I kind of like them as like a like hunter tracker type creature. I didn't know they had all this, invisibility and everything from when we encountered them.
I did not actually put that together myself, but now that is kind of how I want to see them used.
Yeah, like they have a long jump 40 feet, right? A high jump is up to 20 feet. So like they're just in a tree and they like launch themselves at you from a distance. These guys could be really scary if somebody's hunting you down, if like a demon cult is hunting you down and they have these guys on the payroll, you're screwed. Like it would make it so terrifying to travel.
Now, you could put these in the prime material plane, or you could make like, is there any abyss sort of foresty areas where these guys could just be jumping from demon tree to demon tree? And
Maybe. It could be really scary too.
you do not want to be here. Okay, yeah, these are way better. Do you think they would be intelligent or wise enough to effectively use their reckless attack? To sort of like crunch the numbers in their head and be like,
So wait, so that at the start of its turn can gain advantage on all melee weapon attack rolls, which all of its attacks are melee. You're never gonna catch this guy using a weapon. But attack rolls against it have advantage until the start of its next turn.
Yep.
I think it would kind of depend, right? Like, I don't think they're super smart, but I would think it would like how confident they are, right? If like a pack of them really gets a good surprise off on a team, they'd probably just go in with it because they would feel like they could just smash them. Intelligence of 7 is really not too much, so I think they're not going to really worry about their safety because they're going to feel pretty superior. That is interesting though, because like most of the invisibility and entangle and everything, they're not going to have the super strategic mind.
True.
To set everything up exactly. I think it would be they're going to just blow everything all at once and just have a surprise round. That's I think that's why the reckless thing would be interesting, right? Because they're jumping in. they have like a really good like burst damage essentially, and then the party can recoup if they're not dead and really get some good hits off on them with the advantage
because they way overextended. Unless it's a sneak attack.
Yeah,
and then if they rolled well on initiative, they just go again.
Yeah, like I think their like best bet is like maybe they take somebody down really low and spook the party a little bit, or even just get like run off by a competent party that's paying attention, or has like set up a decent way to react to invisible monkeys jumping out of the trees. I don't know.
Do you think that so you're fighting a Barlgura and you get it to like, I don't know, 50 damage. It's got 18 hit points left. Would you make it be like, oh no, I'm losing, I better be a coward and leave? Or do you think you would go with like I'm extra angry now. Here comes
I'm going to go back to the lore on that for a little bit and see.
This deep, short 2 paragraphs on Barlgura lore.
Yeah, climbs, great speed and agility. So they present the savagery and brutality of the abyss, gathered in packs. It seems like they're at least wise enough to like know if they're outmatched, if they're gonna work together. Because like I figure some demons, they're just in it for themselves. They're not gonna do anything like that. But They're pretty weak. Like they're down on the totem pole as far as demons. If you're on page 52, there's the demons by type,
Hmm.
and type 1 is like, lower tier. I think they would be. I think they maybe not smart enough, but like skittish enough and careful enough to run away if they were really outmatched.
I could see that being the case. Like a gang of them jump you, they just wail on everybody, but no one
Yeah,
really goes down. And then you kill two of them, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here."
but they'll come back with more,
Ooh, I
right?
like that.
Right. So like that's I think that's the interesting longevity with this is if you're chosen to get hunted by a pack of Barlgura and you manage to fight them off, that's not the end of it because they're gonna come back with more. They're like, all right, you've moved up in the world a little bit. You're a little tougher than we expected. We're gonna bring more dudes. We're gonna take you out.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good demon.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I didn't know about all this. Phantasmal Force Entangle. It's pretty good. Once per day, twice
If
per
it
day.
if it uses the reckless attack and then it drops its three attacks on you,
Oh yeah,
you're looking
it's gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt.
at
That's
probably in the realm of like 30 damage, maybe 20 minimum. But
yeah, yeah. If it hits all of those and it jumps out of a tree and nobody's ready for it, it's it's game day on somebody. That's one of those ones where you like have everybody roll percentage. Who's getting hit?
who's
Who's the one?
this feels unfair, so you decide.
Yeah,
I did that with beholders yesterday.
yeah,
It's like, oh, this is kind of unfair, so maybe you guys should determine who's gonna die.
yeah. Well, it turns out we all did, except for Justin.
He saved.
You want to get another demon in here? I feel
Yeah,
like
roll
we
a
could just roll
1d20.
that. Yeah, I'll get the 20 back.
Do the demons again.
We got 10.
10.
So
Ooh, that's actually one of them. 1, 2, 3. The Nelfeshnee.
Nelfeshnee.
This weird
Okay.
looking.
Real ugly.
He's a tough demon. He doesn't really look like a tough demon. He sort of looks like one of those blobs that you just run
It's like a boar centaur with terrible wings. Not a centaur,
Hey,
satyr.
the
He's
return
got
of tiny wings.
the tiny wings. Yeah, from the demon list. This looks like one that got generated off that table, but you're kind of disappointed with. Right? Like the art for it. Why does he have extra chin tusks and like
That's
cheek tusks?
that's a good question.
The other, see, like the what is it? The Barlgura had a sweet lip piercing and cool like wristbands. This guy's just like, I don't know. I'm not sure about. Let's see where he's at on the. Oh, he's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's type 4, so 4 out of 6. 4 being higher than 1 on that.
They
as far as
command
power.
other demons in battle, according to the lore.
Yeah, they got a lot more lore. What do we got?
Oh.
Most grotesque demons. I can agree.
I don't know about that. Have you seen like the CR 1/2? But just a pile of flesh. It's like the
The
flesh
mains
bag
one?
marauder from Magic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I
pretty.
think those are a little more grotesque.
A couple pages forward, we got the Yachlal, which is just tree made of mucus.
Everyone loves
But,
the yellow tree made
yeah,
of mucus. It's
so
got
devastating in combat. They use their wings to soar above the front ranks and reach vulnerable adversaries. Okay. Telepathically bellow commands. Sense of dread. Okay. Hatred. They feed on hatred and despair, but they crave human flesh above all else. All right.
Which demon doesn't? To be fair, though,
Yeah.
these guys do take it a step further. They like
Eat
they-
you alive.
they keep 'em
yeah,
in the pantry.
This is like a kind of an old school like classic demon, right?
Yeah.
He's just out to destroy you in the worst way possible and really mess up your day. I mean, these are pretty rough. I guess they're slow on the ground.
Yeah, but they can fly.
They're resistant to everything.
They fly faster than they walk. With those
Immune to
stubby little
poison.
legs.
True sight 120 feet. Like, geez. I feel like they could have made the design a little cooler. It's possible this is just like a really old school demon that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
He uses
I mean,
horror nimbus
If it gets to you, so it can teleport, which
yeah.
which
Oh,
we've
God.
seen some high level demons do. If you remember the snake, 6-armed snake lady,
Yeah,
she could
yeah.
do that. But it's their whole turn, The multi-attack with this thing, 1 bite and 2 claws. The bite is 5d10 plus 5 damage, and the claws are 3d6 plus 5.
Well,
So
what I
it's
think
hard.
what I think is interesting is it kind of has to use this attack, the Horror Nimbus. It magically emits multicolored light. Each creature within 15 feet that can see the light must succeed on DC 15 Wisdom save or be frightened for 1 minute. Frightened is like the worst condition. It's brutal.
Really? I thought it was kind of weak.
Oh, it's not. It's not that weak because you can't willingly move towards the creature. So like any kind of melee class just gets completely stonewalled by it, especially an intelligent creature like this that can then position itself to protect weaker allies and keep like their backline safe. It's
That's
really
fair.
scary, right? Like I think it's worse than like just being petrified or sleep because you can't do anything there. In this one, you feel helpless, but you still have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I find it I don't find it that fun. I don't really like frightened. I
I
don't like
guess
using it on parties either because it's really obnoxious to play with.
I mean I understand what you mean where it stinks to have this done to you as like a fighter or barbarian, but
Yeah.
from having played the game, being feared as a caster or a ranged
Oh, it's not
character,
as
it's
bad.
like
It's not nearly
whatever.
as bad. Yeah, I would agree, but I think it's very in this instance. If it's just something that's like stupid and it just fears you, and you kind of have to just skirt around it a little bit, it's not that bad. But when you have a really intelligent creature that can take full advantage of it, I think it'd be much worse. And it
Yeah.
has to use this. So and it's this whole area of effect on it.
Well, it's only 15 feet around it. It's not actually too big. He would have to get you with it and then walk away.
Yeah, I think that's the point, though, is that it's a strategic minded demon, so it probably will. It's gonna fly right into the middle of the party, blast everybody, back off, let the other demons scamper in.
That's fair. It's like a good retreat tactic.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he has AC 18 because he looks like he has a big exposed belly, just ready for stabbing.
I guess it's made of concrete. You can't damage it. Yeah, these guys have a lot of health. 184 on average.
Yeah,
16d10 plus 96. Like that could get really high on that. And then I mean it's bites and everything. 5d10 bite?
yeah.
What?
Still though, like looking at this, it seems kind of kiteable. I think this is a demon that you basically put in as a
Yeah,
commander, and all the
it's
other ones are
slower.
the scary ones, and this guy's just like, haha, my intelligence is 19 and I'm tough.
And I bit your throat out.
Yeah, if I can get to you with my tiny, tiny wings.
Yeah. I mean, 30 feet fly, I guess it's not super great. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled about this one just because it is kind of it feels like it's something you'd have in flavor in a large scale battle, but you're
Yeah,
probably not actually going to fight this guy directly. At least and never one on one.
no, and I don't think this is a very memorable demon. You really
No.
have to lean into the we're gonna go to his house
Right.
and oh
You
no,
find
we've
their
got
lair where they're having like live sacrifice feasts and stuff.
yeah, and even that, I feel like you could put in a Barlgura, just a monkey. He just kills
Right.
people in the back and he eats them during the
Yeah.
day. And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
sort of a weird one.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know anything about this one. I've seen some of these other before.
Yeah. How do you feel about his mohawk?
His sweet mohawk. I figure it keeps going, and it's like a little bit of mullet in the back. I think
Mm.
that's how it's got to be. You know what he looks like? He looks like oh, it's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, the
Like
pig guy.
yeah, the pig guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I forget their names.
I've never known their names. Is it like Pigma or Pork something?
No,
It's
no,
gotta be a
it's
pun, right?
I don't even think it was. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Do you want to
All
start
right.
talking about our monsters?
You want to go? You want to go first? You want me to go? I'm pretty excited about my
You went first last time, so I'll go first this
Okay.
time. We'll alternate.
switch it up.
So this time we're doing desert/sand themed monsters.
Mostly sand, apparently.
And in their tradition of just stealing things from other franchises or mediums, I wanted to make like a sandworm kind of monster.
Oh yeah,
So
Dune style.
you played Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, right?
Yeah, I've also read Dune, which is
This
like,
isn't one of those. This is,
oh.
I mean, I figure a dune worm is like a purple worm that likes sand and it can feel you
I don't
stepping
think they were
around.
described as being purple.
Well, no, but they're huge like that.
Oh yeah, no, they're ridiculous. They're like hundreds of feet long.
And I'm thinking more of a,
Bebop and Rocksteady.
oh,
That was their names.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah. And I don't remember which one was which.
Here we go.
Bebop is the pig man. Oh, and he's got like sweet glasses on.
Ooh. Okay, so the name of the monster from Wind Waker is Mulgara. It's the sandworm that like you have to hookshot its tongue and it pulls you in and gets stunned and then you
Right.
beat the crap out of it.
Yep.
So to start with, I kind of liked that idea of a worm, but you don't really fight those. You really just sort of fight a big worm that bursts out of the stone and says, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna bite you, and maybe you can run around in my tunnel when I'm done." So this one's gonna wind up being like maybe 4 feet in diameter, so it could actually take up one square.
Right.
And the first thing I want to do is I want to give it control sand, but only the thing that makes a whirlpool of sand that starts to pull everything in. So you're you're like in an arena just fighting it because it's like I start with this ability and then I come up.
Yeah.
So
they're like kind of like a trap hunter type.
Yeah. You're just walking and then the sand starts to rumble and suddenly you're kind of trapped in this vortex, this maelstrom of sand, and it's always pulling you down to the center.
So they're like a sort of a tremor sense. They're just under the ground, and if you're walking in their area, this can just happen.
Yes. And maybe not even their area. Maybe they just roam a bit. I think this would be a good random encounter as opposed to a let's go fight the Mulgara worm.
You're not going to try and like hunt these down.
Although
you're just wandering through the desert, right? And
yes.
Spice it up a little. Yeah.
And so what I would do that would make these more interesting than your average worm is that they sort of have like three phases they sort of go through. And after you're getting hit by their maelstrom thing, they'll pop up somewhere near somebody, and they'll make a bite attack or 2 bite attacks. And I imagine them having these 4 razor-sharp, long, dagger-like teeth.
Yeah.
They can use to stab you with. And then when they're done with their attack, they're just like, all right, everybody else goes. Then their next attack is they leap out of the ground to an area that's like maybe 50 feet away, and they attack someone else over there. And then you sort of pause their movement so that everyone else is taking their turn as it's doing this leap across
because it's so exaggerated.
It's so exaggerated and long that it's like you can attack where its tail is, which is like where it was before, and you can attack where its head is, or you can attack somewhere in the middle. Although that would be kind of high up, so that would be difficult. And then after it's done with that attack, it basically does like one last attack as it goes underground, and then it's just you can't attack it for 1 round. It's like underground, it's safe, and then it pops up somewhere else the next turn and does it again. So
it's got a cycle.
It's got a cycle, and
that is very Zelda of it, right? Like, have
a
little pattern and you figure it out.
You got to do it 3 times. That's what you got to do.
It has a giant glowing spot on. Keep hitting it.
So what I would try and do to balance it is I wouldn't want it to feel like, oh, the sandworm is invincible while it's underground. I would want it to feel, maybe I wouldn't give it an attack when it goes underground. Maybe I would just make it like we get a brief 1 round break that we can heal or cast buffs or something, or take a potion. Just sort of like, okay guys, there's a cycle here and this is the safe part. Even though you're still dealing with this maelstrom of sand that's dealing bludgeoning damage and pulling you into the middle, you don't have to deal with the giant worm right now.
See, I kind of almost where I thought you were going with this was that it would kind of like pick somebody out from the party and try and drag them around. Right? And like it doesn't care about any of the rest of them. Just like that one.
Sounds super mean though.
Well, like, no, I mean, it could be interesting, right? It's like they pull somebody under, and then like that round that they're underground, after that they pop back up with them and they're done because
No,
they
that's
can't eat
that's
them.
interesting. It's
Right?
weird, but I like it. Like it's like that's how they thrash things to death. They just
They
when they
just
pull
drag you
under, you
underground.
take a billion bludgeoning damage, and they just
Yeah, you just take damage underground for one round, and then it spits you back out on the top.
that's pretty neat. I kind of like that. You're just getting like thrashed by its razor claws, and you're taking
Yeah,
bludgeoning damage from being like mauled through sand.
yeah, and like it'll pull somebody underground, but it's just holding you. It doesn't really do any damage. It could do a little, right? Because it's bitten you,
Yeah.
but not
So
super scary.
the one reason why I really wanted to give it sort of four razor sharp claws is that, I think one of the coolest thing about some of these monsters is weird loot you can get or weird lore you can kind of create from them.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that if you get your hands on one of these claws, because these things are probably tough to kill, and if
Oh
you
yeah.
beat them up too badly, they'll leave. You can very easily attach like a hilt to it, and you get a
Oh
plus
yeah.
one sword.
Make like just a cool, and it's like a really cool flavor on the sword, and then that you could even sell them for a
Yeah,
lot too. You can make them valuable.
and then you can come up with stuff like if there's like a nearby sand society, people who live in the desert. Maybe they have, because they deal with these things all the time. They've got like four different organizations in their military. They always divide it into like four platoons, and each
Oh
captain
yeah.
always has
Everybody
to
has
have
like a
one of
sword.
these swords.
And if you get one, they respect you. They
Yeah,
know you're like experienced in the desert, and yeah, that could fit in really cool with a world where this is like it's kind of just a flavor piece and like a little bit of a random encounter,
hmm
but like legends about it and it's built into the culture. That's cool. I like that.
but I would probably give these things like 150 hit points, maybe, and
Yeah.
maybe make them deal. I don't know, maybe CR like 8 or something, maybe 7. They
That's
shouldn't
yeah.
they shouldn't be like a purple worm because they're way smaller.
Yeah.
But
All
that
right.
is the monster that I prepared.
Oh, so I have like a lot of ideas. I wanted to do something scorpion, and
The
I was like,
Scorpion
let's
King.
yeah, oh, yeah, I wanted to do like a man scorpion, but that already exists. It's called the Scaro, and they're cool. I
Are
like them,
those
but
are those in the monster manual?
I don't think they're in this
Just
monster
steal
manual. But I
them.
did I did find them in a different monster manual that I have. I have like so many monster manuals, but the thing I wanted to do was have like because usually if it's going to be like a half scorpion half man, the half man part makes it pretty obvious it's going to be relatively intelligent, possibly have a society or whatever.
Yeah,
But normally scorpions kind of exist on their own, like they're not super social creatures.
that
So
makes
right,
sense.
they just kind of go out, they hunt stuff, whatever. You're very likely to encounter a single scorpion in the desert.
hmm
That wouldn't be weird. But the idea I had was like a scorpion like warrior race. Like they're fully look like scorpions. But the identifying feature is that they like paint like war paint on themselves or like on each other, and they're organized. So
Oh, they're
like
just
low to
straight
the
up
ground. Yeah,
scorpions.
just normal scorpions. Yeah, got rid of the man part completely because I want it to be a little bit surprising. But the second time you see these, you're gonna recognize them because of things.
Are they going to be like a society that people can interact with, or are they just sort of an evil monster race where it's like, rah, we'll stab you and eat
I
you?
kind of I kind of wanted them to be like relatively neutral but very territorial,
Okay.
right? So like they will have like, there will be obvious markings that you're entering their territory. Like you could describe it, you see like, maybe not like a weapon or anything, but like there'll be like a pillar and it'll have their war paint on it. Maybe it's made of stone or whatever. And it's just like that means you're entering their territory. And you won't at the party won't know this at first, but like the way the DM would have to introduce it would be like, here, you see this pillar, it's marked with strange letters. It's not a language anybody could read, but it's very clearly like aggressive, like war paint type things. It could even be in blood, right?
Could you? I feel like they'd have to find the pillar because I don't think scorpions would be good at stonecraft. But you could pick a big sort of sand monster that's around and then just leave its dried corpse filled with like
That's true.
stinger
Yeah, they
holes.
they could like leave skeletons of their kills around on the edges of the territory that are painted.
Oh, that's yeah, I like
Like a
that.
like just a pile of skulls that all have like these like runes kind of shapes on them.
Yeah, that could
But
work.
yeah, I want them to be really organized and basically like if you get into their territory, they will track you down. And it's not that they just want to kill you, right? They want to prove a point. So they will take people from your party, bring them to like essentially like a trial, except you just can't possibly understand it because it's
It's
this
just
crazy
scorpions.
scorpion race. They speak like this insectoid, like crazy clicky whistly language, and it's like the idea I had for this is like the Klingon trials in like old school Star Trek,
Uh-huh.
where they'd like you'd show up and they'd be like, yeah, well, so like you're guilty, so we're gonna send you to mine ice in like in a pit forever. That's it. You're done because you're not of our race, so we don't respect you. But it's just like a complete sham of a trial. But like they're really intense about it, and so like it gives you a cool thing because you could have to go rescue them from this place, and as soon as you enter the territory, they're all aware of it.
They all just come wheeling down. Are they like
Yeah,
giant scorpions? They got to be giant scorpions.
yeah, oh yeah, no, they have to be big. They have to be big. Well, and it's cool. You could have like the idea I had too is like you know how like an APC carrier is, where it's like a little vehicle just drives up and then like a ton of dudes pop out. They could
Okay.
do that. They could do that with like babies because scorpions carry their babies around on the.
That's so metal. It's like,
It's
go
so
get them,
crazy,
my
right?
2-year-old babies. Stick
Yeah,
them to
just like and
town.
it's just like a swarm, and you could have it like the emotional swarm is just a giant baby scorpion swarm, and they're all like translucent and crazy, just like stinging you, and you're just like, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here at all. And they like drag you back to the lair, and they're like, all right, they just like have a gavel, and they're like, click, click, click. You can throw them into the lines.
Oh, that is that's pretty good.
It's cool too because like if you have a caster with comprehend languages, you would hear all of their like their directives and like their battle plans. And you could even possibly try to lawyer the trial, which I think would be fun.
They're not used to it. They're like, what the
Yeah, no,
hell?
nobody ever defends themselves. Everybody's just terrified,
The
and you're
yeah,
like,
the
look,
prosecutor's just like, uh, they're guilty.
they're guilty. So take them away. But yeah, I like the idea of like a desert creature, because usually a lot of the desert encounters you're going to have are going to be those like one-off isolated things or like a roving pack that's starving.
Hmm.
And I I just want it to be like you came to our land and everybody else is like, no, nothing is here. Why do you live here? Because they live in burrows underground.
Okay,
They're
so it
invaded.
is burrows underground. I was gonna wonder about
Well, I
their.
wanted to keep them relatively like actual scorpions, but like it's like a society, just a simple, it's just like a simplistic one, like the way like maybe like a goblin thing would be, where it's enough of a society
Are
to
these
be
gonna be very claustrophobic tunnels, or are these gonna be maybe they have like some sort of structure that holds it up so they can make it more cavernous?
probably, yeah, I would say that. I mean, because I want them to be intelligent and organized, and then especially because they have slaves that have committed all these crimes.
That's what I was gonna say. You could actually go back and start putting in the pillars and all that good stuff that would
Yeah,
make sense for a scorpion to be able to put together.
but
If
they
the
have but they have prisoners there that they're having do all this work. Ah, yeah, no, that actually helps.
So here's what I
It
want to
could even
know.
be written in like humanoid languages then. Like, you're entering this territory, do you turn back now kind of thing.
Maybe sometimes they say like, "Help us, please."
Yeah, please come get us.
They
That could
don't
be such
understand
a great,
common. How do the
that could be such a
scorpions?
great storyline though. That would be so good.
How do the scorpions communicate their orders with the people besides pointing at things and snipping aggressively?
Um Probably either poison or some of the like more long-term prisoners have learned their language because it wouldn't be super complicated. It would just be a matter of learning it.
I guess I feel like that'd be very difficult to learn. Like if you
Oh,
ranked, I
definitely.
know Norwegian's easy for English speakers to learn, and Chinese
Right.
is very difficult. I imagine insectoid would be a couple steps
Oh,
more
definitely.
difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like a dead language that nobody ever spoke and you don't have the mouth parts for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that could be kind of at the discretion. I think you could use these either as just like an interesting area you have to pass through that's kind of a dead zone that nobody wants to go to. Or you could do that where it's like, the prisoners are actually like calling out for help on the signs. And it kind of draws the party in to be like, hey, what's going on over here? I think that's fun.
You could have either a scorpion who has learned enough of the tongue, of common tongue, that he can give orders. Or,
barely speaks just a few things in common.
Mm-hmm. Or you could have like a human that's a sellout. And he's able to speak the scorpion tongue, and he's like, he's the slave master, and he really loves his job.
In exchange for a better lifestyle.
Yeah, he like lives in cushy, I guess, sand pillows.
Less beatings and poisoning.
Yeah, but he still gets them.
Just a little less. Yeah. That's fun. I think you could put both of those in the same world, really.
Oh yeah. I mean they're basically
like that could be it though. Is like you can go to the east, right? And you have to deal with the sandworms, or you can go north and you might end up as a slave for the scorpion people. It's like, whatever you want to do, but I think the scorpion people you have to come up with a lot of different stats for, right? Because you have your standard foot soldier would probably be like medium or large. You could have like really big scary ones like the alpha scorpions.
Yeah.
They could be even like 3x3, just like huge, and you just don't want to mess with them.
You could have burrowing ones that sort of just they like have pop their up. Tails are little periscopes. They just pop up, stab you, and they go right back down.
Well, yes, as scorpions, that's usually how they hunt. Is they hide. They just like shake under sand, and then they sense stuff. So they all have like tremor sense thing.
Ooh, now I like the idea that they choose to near these pillars where there are signs that say "go back." That's in particular where they'll have like 5 guys straight
a patrol.
Ahead. No, just
a patrol.
And, just
waiting. And I know, but like if you step into it, they all just like pop up, and like, you're in combat.
You should have listened to the sign, Buster.
Click, click, whistle, whistle. Get out of here.
No, at that point it's too late, right? They're super territorial. You already had your chance, and now you're
you've forfeited your rights. You're on their land, so they're gonna take you back.
Would you give them a paralyzing venom, kind of like giant spiders have?
Absolutely.
It's easier to make slaves that way. You don't have to kill them.
Definitely. Yeah, and I would love it too because like I do like encounters that don't have to end with everybody being dead, where their main goal is just to drag somebody off.
Just one person.
And that's just like it's cool because it's a hook to bring the party somewhere interesting. It's it's scary because most of the combat isn't then not just fighting the scorpions, but like we got to save our friend because he's getting dragged away by a scorpion.
Would you? So now I'm thinking of the court case again.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite idea. I've always wanted to do like litigation in D&D somehow in a society like the party goes to a city and it's organized really weird and nobody is from there and they end up in some court case and the laws just don't make any sense to them and they're just trying to figure out what's going on. This is pretty extreme because it's like they don't even speak the language. But
I would hope that they would capture the person who can cast comprehend languages, so you can even have like
they defend themselves or something.
No, I think they should get a defendant, and that
it's just completely incompetent.
Their person that talks to them first is like, "Don't worry, these cases happen all the time. You're gonna get a defendant. He almost always wins. It's great." And you get out to the court. And the prosecutor's like, we should kill this person for breaking our law. And then your defendant's like, that's way too harsh. Life as a slave. That's much better.
Yeah, lifetime, just a lifetime. It's much more humane. We'll take care of them. They'll live a long life of hard manual labor.
It's good. It's good for him. It's good for our society. Everybody wins.
It's a win, 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 win.
You asked your scorpion lawyer, what are you doing? He's like, calm down. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get you. You're not going to die. You're just going to be a slave forever. I always win these. The judge is my dad.
They're all related. It's like a hive.
Do you have like a reason how these scorpions all became super intelligent?
Um, I hadn't actually considered that too much.
You can just have it. I mean, there's no reason why
Yeah,
rats are giant or spiders are giant.
I wanted it to be like, yeah, kind of mysterious that way, where it's like this one area of the desert. You just nobody goes there, and they tell you not to go there. And if the party's really curious, they get lost. They end up there. They see these signs, and they're like, I don't know, man. And there's like a bard or a sassy rogue or something. It's like, yeah, it's fine. They cross over the threshold, and the scorpions are there, and like, you screwed up. You're coming with us.
You wake up, you put on your boot, and there's a 10-foot tall scorpion.
And there's a snake in my boot.
Those scorpions are good. I like them.
I don't know if they fit the world that I've been setting up, but
A little too wacky.
it's pretty weird. Yeah. But it could be fun. It could be really fun.
You might not be able to do that if it's you sort of have like a semi-realistic world, but then it's like
Yeah.
now I get weird with the gods and people's religious beliefs.
Yeah, where the gods are actually real. Like that's yeah, it's more of like just that little extra sprinkle of supernatural. Whereas this feels like more like a full fantasy
Just
setting.
super high fantasy.
We're just going out with it. Crazy Scorpion Court.
Scorpion Court. I like that. You have to reference the Scorpion King. Or maybe
Yeah,
not.
well, nah, no,
The
I
Scorpion
know.
Magistrate. He runs the
It's
show.
just Dwayne the Rock Johnson, literally just Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's like, he could be the human sellout.
Ooh,
they
that's
call him
good.
they call him the Scorpion King, but he's just like not.
He calls
Not
himself the Scorpion King because no one else
yeah,
speaks common.
yeah.
They'd call him on it if they knew.
Oh no, they would be mad. They'd be
Oh,
so mad.
that's a way that if someone can cast comprehend or speak all languages, they can sell him out and be like, he's
Oh,
calling himself the Scorpion King, right? And
they flip it on him, and then he gets sentenced to the salt mines.
they
What are
just
they mining anyway?
um, stone. I don't know, really. I mean, like maybe just sandstone is like the best they can get. They
They
can't
just make
really
more
wield
pillars.
picks effectively with their claws.
They're building a wall to keep out to keep out the foreigners.
But they don't trust the slaves at the edge of their territory, so they have
Right.
to like drag it themselves, and they're not very good at it. So there's just a pile of rocks. It's like we did it.
Oh, man. I imagine it would be just a total waste, right? Like they're having them just dig more tunnels just to expand their home.
Yeah, yeah, that could work too. I could see craftsmen being important too to make stuff like gavels that they can't really make effectively. But
They need like a powdered wig and
do you so as far as that? So that's the monster. For the stats of these things, would you give them the classic 3 attacks like snip, snip, stab?
um yeah, I think so like the standard foot soldiers, yeah, definitely that's pretty much all they have. They have a pretty weak paralyzing poison. Like I want the DC to be relatively low, like maybe 11 or 12. Like something passable,
Hmm.
but they're gonna keep hitting you with it. So you're probably gonna lose at some point.
Yeah, I think a good way to go then would be snip snip is their basic attack, and then they have sort of like giant spiders. They can stab you with their stinger, but it's got to recharge.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a couple turns or something.
Yeah,
I wanted their territory to have rings of like influence. So if you're in that outer area, you're probably just encounter foot soldiers. You're not going to get the swarms,
uh,
like the baby carrying ones and like the really big scary ones. But if you keep advancing, either because you have to save somebody or rescue somebody from a neighboring town or something, you're going to start encountering harder and harder stuff.
yeah, and then you can have those stone pillars sort of be the ring indicator.
Yeah, and they just keep getting like bigger and spookier and yeah. And I like the idea of like they just have one burrow like, at the center of this area, and that's the way in.
One super burrow. You just got to
Yeah.
get in there. What do scorpions hate most? What like eats scorpions?
I think it's mostly lizards and birds probably. Yeah, like you oh, that's how you could really get them. You fly in on giant hawks or something.
They just
And
float down.
they're just like shaking their claws at the sky. They can't stop you. Just parachute in.
They start climbing up like Yordle the turtle. They're like, get them. We're gonna do it.
Just build a tower. Oh man, I think that's the secret, right? Is if you really have to save somebody, it's got to be like a parachute mission, eagle flying in, a Gandalf saving them.
That's you could have a random rock outcropping in the middle of the desert that has giant eagles on it that you could go and befriend.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what is that one cartoon that Disney did? It was like Rescue Rangers or something.
Oh yeah, Rescue Rangers.
I think it was the second one where it was like an Australian giant eagle.
Rescue Rangers Down Under. There's an interesting story about that movie. I never saw the end of it because when I was like really young, we rented it on VHS and the power went out halfway through the movie.
Okay.
And then we had to return it. And we never rented it again. And so I never saw the end of that movie. But I know what you're talking about. There's a giant bird in that.
I think it's in a desert. That's why I'm thinking of that.
Yeah.
Great story. I'm pretty sure the eagle's okay if you're concerned.
They made it. They made it out.
there's definitely one bird that dies, I think.
Oh, I mean, it was a kids movie, but it was kind of like it was one of those kids movies where it's like a little spooky. It's a little intense. You actually have to like do real stuff. It's like what is that? The little toaster one where they like all almost died on a waterfall.
Yeah.
We've gotten way off track.
It gets real trippy.
Yeah.
It's like a fever dream.
That's the Dumbo thing, right?
Oh,
too?
yeah, that's not great. Those old Disney movies, man.
Anyway,
what do you
We got to come up with a theme for next time.
Yeah. Man, I guess I got to come up with one because you came up with sand after we hit the button and I forgot about it. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Let's do a flying monster.
So like a predator for the scorpion.
Maybe.
People.
Well, it could be a predator. It could just also be a flying monster that you might encounter if you were on the back of like a friendly dragon or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, in a cloud giant castle.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Sounds good. All right. See you next. Well, yeah, I'll see you actually in about a week. That's about right.
Okay. Cool.
See you, man.
Bye.